Okay, welcome back everyone for our third blot of this gorgeous Motzei Shabbos. And this is what we call using our time productively. What a way to start off the new week. This bodes to be a great week with starting off the week in such a way. And we could welcome in now Moshe Jacqueline, who just joined us, and Fatal Lewin, who has just joined us, as we begin the new parak of Amagarish on Daf Pei Bay, sponsored by A.B. Spry and family, for the tefillah that all children should get into yeshiva pleasantly and quickly. We also are sponsored by Baruch Ian, Le'ilin Nishmas Esther Bas Yoina, Yaakov Chaim Ben Abba, Avram Ben Shmuel HaKohen. We learn Lefush Lema for my Shver, Avigdor Aryeh Ben Rivka. We learn for Chayit Tzipora Bas Rezel. And we learn for Marshall Castle's brother, Mordechai Ben Sora Yehudis, that they should all have a refuah shlema b'seich shar chayil Yisrael. If you were just joining us, like Moshe Jacqueline, we are learning 3 blot tonight because Tuesday evening I have the special Q&A at Irgun Shirei Torah. That's at 9 o'clock in the Boston Shul on Avenue J and East 28th. If you're in the vicinity, I hope to see you there. If somebody divorces his wife, and listen to what he says, this guy's a character. You're permitted to everyone, except to Yankee. You can't marry Yankee. So Rebbe Eliezer Matir, Rebbe Eliezer says it's a good get, and she's mutter. The Chacham say, as we know, a get, this has to be a sefer creases. It has to be a total severance without any strings attached. And if he said that you can't marry Yankee, it's not a good get. So according to the Chachamim, what could he do to correct the situation? Keitzad Yaseh, what could he do? Yitlena Heimena, he has to take the get away from her. V'yazav Yitnenela, and give it to her again. V'yaimela, and tell her, Ariyat Materis L'kol Adam. You're mutter to everyone, even Yankee. However, kisvu b'soichai, if he wrote inside the get, Hariat Materisal Kol Adam chutz from Yankee, afal pisha chazar u'makoi, even if he went ahead and erased it, possible, because the get has to be a get creases from the get-go, and it wasn't a get creases from the get-go, and therefore that get is not a get kosher. Now, Ibaylu, Hi Ella, he says, you are divorced to everyone but Yankee. How do we explain but? Chutzu, does it mean except to the exclusion of Yankee? Oyal Manasu, or does it mean on the condition that you don't marry Yankee? Chutzu, so does it mean except for? Or b'chutzu, the pligi Rabbanan Lalei Rebbe Eliezer, and it's by chutz that the Rabbanan argue and say that it's not a good get, because the get has to permit it to everyone, and he's leaving out in the get. It's not a complete creases. But if he stipulates on the condition that you don't marry Yankee, Moidele, the Rabbanan hold that it is a good get. He could stipulate whatever he wants in a get. He could stipulate on the condition that you nurse my child for 2 years. Or maybe Ella means on the condition. And it's only by Almanas that Rebbe Eliezer argues Rabbanan and says that it's a good get. But if it means except, then Rebbe Eliezer agrees it's not a good get. Because he's leaving something out from the get. It's not a full Hariyat Materis Kaladam. Ravina Toshma. Now the Gemara is going to prove what does Ella mean. Ravina Toshma. Kol habotim mitamim b'negam. All houses are susceptible to become tamei with negam. If you see a red, green blotch on the wall of the house, it's susceptible to tumas negam. Ella shaloi v'kacham. Except, but a guy's house. So it means that all Jewish homes are susceptible to leprosy and not except for Goyish homes, Shabbat. That makes sense. Eliyam and Almanasu, that Jewish homes are susceptible to leprosy on the condition that Goyish homes are not. Almanas, the loy mitama bati oiv de kachavim. It's only on the condition that the houses of oiv de kachavim don't become tamei. Who the mitama bati Yisrael is when the houses of Yidden are tamei. Ha mitama bati oiv de kachavim. But if the houses of oiv de kachavim are tamei, loy mitama bati Yisrael. That doesn't make sense. Right? And furthermore, you can't make a condition. The houses of Goyim are never able to be tamei. But they ever become matame? Can they ever become tamei? That you're making a condition. I will give the plague of leprosy in the house of your land of inheritance. What you inherit is matam begam. So Ella is chutz. Ella shmamina chutzu shmamina. Now, Masnis and the Loikaitan. Now that we're learning that the Mishnah is chutz, and even by chutz, Rebbe Eliezer holds that the get is kosher, the Mishnah is not like the following Tana. The Tanya, Rebbe Yosef Rebbe Yehuda, Loi nechlaku Rebbe Eliezer v'chachamim, al megarish etzishtay, that if Chatzkel divorces his wife Sarah, v'amrla, and he says to her, At materis kol adam chutz miploini, you're permitted to everyone except for Yankee. Shein Megreshes. She's not divorced then. That's not a crisis. And he says to her, on the condition, on the condition that you don't marry Yankee. Rebbe Eliezer says, well, that's like any other condition. Rebbe Eliezer says she's permitted to everyone except for Yankee. The Chacham say that gets no good. She's also to everybody. My time in the Rebbe Eliezer. What's the reason why Rebbe Eliezer says it's good if it's conditioned? It's like any condition that you can make. You could say, yes, again, on the condition that you nurse my child, on the condition that you nurse my father, on the condition that you give me $1 million. So you could say, on the condition you don't marry a Yankee. Rabbanan say there's a difference. Any other condition doesn't impact and doesn't impair the Hariyat Muteris L'Kalada. Here he's making a exception in the essence of the get, and that you can't do. Says the Gemara, Masnisin do Kimna b'chutz, that you can even say, according to Rebbe Eliezer, here's your get, except for Yankee. My time in Rebbe Eliezer, why does Rebbe Eliezer say you're allowed to do that? Amar Reb Yanai Mishum Zokein Echad. Reb Yanai says, in the name of a certain elder, Amar Kra, the pasuk says, V'yotza mebeisai, she leaves his house, V'holcha v'hoisa le'ish acher. She leaves his house having been divorced, and she goes and marries an ish acher. Afilu lo hitirua el le'ish acher. Even if he only permits her to be with one man, it's still a get. Harizum Gereshes. Rabbanan, when it says v'hoisa v'holcha le'ish, it means to any ish. Hay le'ish l'kol ish v'ish. She has to be eligible to any man. Rabbi Yochanan says a different reason for Rebbe Eliezer. Rabbi Yochanan, time in the Rebbe Eliezer mehacha. The isha grusha me isha lo yikach. Well, Kayin can't take a woman that's divorced just from her husband. So you see, even if she's divorced just from her husband, it's already good. Afilu in this garsha isha, even if she's only divorced from her husband, nifsala minakuna. Now the Rabbanan say, yeah, that's true. Because that's a reach haget. But that's a chumrah of psul kayin. It doesn't mean that she's permitted to every person with such an impaired get. Am havigit rabbanan isakuna shani, and isakuna is different. Now, what about in an analogous case? What about an analogous case by Kiddushin, where he says to her, I'm being mekadesh you, and you're forbidden to everyone except for Yankee. Here it's the other way around. By Rabbi Abba b'kiddushin hey. What's the din in an analogous case by kiddushin, where he says, now we know mekudeshes li means you're mekudesh to me and you're forbidden to everybody else. So he says, by Rabbi Abba b'kiddushin hey. What about if he says you're mekudesh to me, forbidden to everybody else except Yankee? So Tibayil Rabbi Eliezer, you could clear the shayla according to Rabbi Eliezer. Tibayil Rabbana, and you could clear the shayla according to Rabbana. Tibayil Rabbi Eliezer, Ad kan like come Rabbi Eliezer hacha because of psukim. Ela mishum deksiv ekra. You have a pasuk isha grushim ishim, and if she's just divorced from her husband, or b'hol chavayis li shachar, only if she could just go to one person. Aval hasam, but by kiddushin you have to acquire her completely. Aval hasam kinyamal yabayinu. You have to acquire completely. No one else. Aydilma, or maybe. Remember, I told you that there's a hekish comparing Gerushin to Kedushin. V'yatza v'haisa. Haisa havaya means Kedushin. So v'yatza v'haisa, makish yitzil havaya. So just like by get, according to Rabbi Eliezer, it would be good, by Kedushin it would also be good. And also, Tibayil Rabbana. We can clear the shayla according to Rabbana. Ad kan l'kamri Rabbanan hacha. The Rabbanan say over here that it's no good if you divorce her to everyone except from Yaakov. El deba'inon creases, because it says by get creases. It has to be total severance without any strings attached. Velaka. And if she's still not allowed to marry Yankee, then there's strings attached. Aval Hasam, but by Kiddushin, maybe a Kinyan Koldu is good enough. Kinyan Koldu. Oy Dilma v'yotza v'haisa. We're makish yitzil avaya, just like by get, it has to be a total severance according to Rabbanan. So by Kiddushin, it also has to be a total acquisition. Lebasa di boy, after they cleared the shayla, Hodar Pashta, they resolved it. Bein Rabbi Eliezer, bein Rabbanan, ba'inon v'yotza v'haisa. Both according to Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbanan, the din by Kiddushin would be the same thing as by Gittin. So according to Rabbi Eliezer, just like it would be good if he says, Hariat Muteris Kol Adam except for Yankee. According to Rabbi Eliezer, it would also be good if he says Hariat Mekudeshes and forbidden to everyone except for Yankee. And the same thing according to Rabbanan, just like according to Rabbanan, it's no good unless it's a complete severance. By Kiddushin, it's no good unless it's a total acquisition. Now, Amar Abaya, Im Tim Tzalaimer, that Isa lid Rabbi Abba, so that according to Rabbi Eliezer, the Kiddushin is good even if he says you're Mekudeshes to me and forbidden to everyone except for this one person. So says the Gemara, a cute case. There's two brothers, Ruvain and Shimon. Ba Ruvain, the Kitcha, Ruvain is Mekadesh Sarah, and he says, you're forbidden to everyone except to my brother Shimon. So Ba Ruvain, the Kitcha Chutz Mishimon. Ba Shimon, and Shimon comes, the Kitcha Chutz Meruvain, and says that you're forbidden to everyone except for your first husband Ruvain. And then Umeisu Shneim, Reuven and Shimon both died, childless, and now she falls Levi for Yibam. Now, if she falls from both Reuven and Shimon, Levi would not be able to be Miyamar, because the din is that Yibam is only Misha Yeshle Zikas Yavam Echad. It falls from one brother, V'loi Misha Zikas Shnei Yavam, not falling from two brothers. But the din is Misyabem es Levi. She could be Miyam Levi. Why? And we don't call her that she was the wife of both Reuven and Shimon. You know why? My timer. Because Kiddushay de Reuven Ahani. The first Kiddush that Reuven made, where he said, you're Mekuddush to me and forbidden to everybody except for Shimon, that was a good Kiddush. But Kiddushay de Shimon lo Yahanu. But the Kiddush that Shimon made didn't help. He said, you're forbidden to everyone except for Reuven. he didn't cause her to be forbidden to anybody. Because she was already forbidden to everybody except for Shimon. So now when Shimon was Mekadosh, he didn't cause her to be forbidden to anybody. So therefore Shimon's Kedushin wasn't good. And therefore since Shimon's Kedushin wasn't good, when they both die, Sarah only falls from Ruvain, and therefore Levi could be Miyabim. And the next case we'll save for tomorrow. This was a really nice piece of work, but don't go anywhere now, Rabbi Isai, because we still have to learn the Mishnah Yomis. You don't want to leave before the Mishnah Yomis. Remember, tomorrow, Shir Be'ezus Hashem will be at 8:35.